Welcome to another intermediate ESL-lounge reading lesson video. Today we will be reading a biography of Agatha Christie. Let's begin with some vocabulary. Crime fiction, books about crime, detectives and murder. Detective. A person, often a police officer, who solves crimes. To publish, to prepare and print a book for public sale. Plot twist. An unexpected development or surprise in a story. Character. A person in a book, play or film. Best-selling, extremely popular and having sold many copies. Disappearance. The fact of someone or something going missing. Inspiration. Something that gives you ideas for doing something creative. Legacy. Something that a person leaves behind to be remembered for. Great. Now you know the key words, let's read the story. Agatha Christie is known around the world as the Queen of Crime. She is the best-selling fiction writer of all time, with her books having sold an estimated 2 billion copies. Only the Bible and Shakespeare have sold more. But who was the woman behind these brilliant detective stories? Born in 1890, in the south of England, Christie did not have a formal education but was taught to read by her mother. During the First World War, she worked as a nurse, and later in a pharmacy, where she gained an extensive knowledge of poisons. This medical experience would later become a key feature in many of her murder mysteries, providing inspiration for the clever ways her characters were killed. She published her first novel in 1920, which introduced the world to one of her most famous characters, the intelligent Belgian detective, Hercule Poirot. End of page 1. Let's continue. Another of her beloved detectives, the quiet but sharp-minded Miss Marple, first appeared a few years later. Christie's own life contained a mystery that could have come from one of her novels. In 1926, after discovering her husband was having an affair, she drove away from her home and vanished. Her disappearance caused a media sensation, and a nationwide search was launched. She was eventually found 11 days later in a hotel in Harrogate, claiming to have no memory of how she got there. To this day, nobody knows for sure what really happened during that time. If she hadn't been so famous, it's unlikely the story would have received so much attention. Throughout her long career, she wrote 66 detective novels and 14 short story collections. Her stories are famous for their brilliant plot twists, where the least likely person often turns out to be the killer. End of page 2. Let's continue. She created a formula for the classic whodunit mystery that countless authors have tried to imitate since. One of her most famous plays, The Mousetrap, opened in London in 1952 and has been running continuously ever since, making it the longest-running play in history. The audience is famously asked not to reveal the identity of the murderer after leaving the theatre, a tradition that has helped maintain its suspense and popularity for decades. Agatha Christie died in 1976, but her legacy is stronger than ever. Her books continue to be adapted into popular films and television series, introducing new generations to her unforgettable characters and perfectly constructed plots. She remains the undisputed master of classic crime fiction. Okay, time for a few questions to check your understanding. Question 1. Where did Agatha Christie get her detailed knowledge of poisons? A. From reading many detective novels as a child. B. Through her medical experience during the war. C. From her husband who was a doctor. D. From her formal education at a university. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is B. The text says that during the First World War, she worked as a nurse and in a pharmacy, gaining medical experience. Question 2. What happened in Agatha Christie's life in 1926? A. She published her very first novel. B. She created the character of Miss Marple. C. She mysteriously disappeared for 11 days. D. She received an award from the Queen. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text says that in 1926 she vanished and was found 11 days later. Question 3. What is a key feature of Agatha Christie's stories mentioned in the text? A. They usually take place in foreign countries. B. The detective is always the person who committed the crime. C. The endings often shock readers with unexpected reveals. D. They rarely feature poisons as a murder weapon. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text supports this by saying her stories are famous for their brilliant plot twists. Question 4. What can be inferred about the success of the play The Mousetrap? A. It is successful because the story is changed every year. B. Not revealing the murderer has kept audiences interested for many years. C. It is only popular with tourists and not with Londoners. D. It features Christie's most famous detective characters. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is B. The text states the tradition of asking the audience not to reveal the identity of the murderer has helped maintain its popularity for decades. Question 5. What does the author mean by Agatha Christie's legacy? A. The money she left behind when she died. B. The hotel in Harrogate where she was found. C. Her long-lasting influence and the continued popularity of her work. D. The secret of her 11-day disappearance. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text says her legacy is stronger than ever and that her books continue to be adapted. Question 6. Which statement best summarizes Agatha Christie's influence on the crime fiction genre? A. She was the first author to include a detective character in her stories. B. Her books were popular but they were not imitated by other writers. C. She was a best-selling author mainly because of the mystery in her own life. D. She set the standard that other crime writers still copy today. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is D. We know this is correct because the text says she, quote, created a formula that countless authors have tried to imitate since. Let's quickly summarize the lesson. On this screen, you can review the main points of the text and the key vocabulary. Finally, here are a few discussion questions. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this ESL Lounge video. Don't forget to subscribe for more lessons, and we'll see you in the next one.